Welcome to Planet MicroCap. I'm your host, Robert Kraft, and joining me right now is Joseph Thompson. He's co-founder and president at Kits Eyecare. It's a publicly traded company. The symbol is KITS on TSX. And Kits Eyecare will be presenting at our upcoming investor conference, Planet MicroCap Showcase in Las Vegas in partnership with MicroCap Club, taking place April 22 through 24, 2025. For more information to register, see the team in Vegas, see their presentation, do a one-on-one, please register at planetmicrocapshowcase.com. And with that, Joseph, thank you for joining me today. How are you doing?
Always great to see you, Robert.
Absolutely. It's great to see you too. So, uh, surprisingly, even for me, this is actually our first time doing an interview together. I've
I
known the
know,
company.
I know.
Right. I'm already going to preface it right now and say, like, you're going to be coming back on at some point on the podcast to do a longer form interview. But for now, we're going to do one of our quick hitters for those, that don't know the Kit story. Give them a little taste of what's going on, and hopefully they'll come meet you and see you in Vegas. So, Joseph, with that, for those that don't know the Kit story, can you start us off with a quick overview and history of the company?
Sure. Yeah, we started Kits back in 2018, really to make eye care easy. It's this big, important category, $70 billion, glasses, contact lenses, and over 7 out of 10 adults require glasses or contact lenses to get through the day. But it's still way too costly, way too complex. So we started Kits to make eye care easy. And our hypothesis was that if we added automation, technology, and a vertically integrated approach, we could cut 90% of the costs and the waste out of making high quality prescription glasses and pass that all on to customers. And so, that's really what we've done. It's been just over 6 years since we launched the company, Roger and myself, and over 6 years, the company's grown to be one of the fastest growing optical companies in the world. Our Q4 run rate was about $180 million and was growing about 42% year on year. So, over the last 9 quarters, a lot of organic growth, averaging over 9 quarters, about 32%. And really just getting started. Our focus is on a couple things. It's on um, building the best infrastructure in the industry. And so we've built a state-of-the-art optical lab and the technology and data infrastructure on top of that to scale us to about 500 million in revenue. And so now we're growing into that capacity. And that's allowed us to have control of the cost and the quality of the product. So part one is, the infrastructure that we built, this $500 million foundation that we're growing into. Part two is our approach to just pass on incredible value to customers. And that's really helped us keep marketing costs very low. We cap them around 13, 14% of total revenue, even as we grow. Um, and lastly, we went public on the Toronto Stock Exchange in January 2021. And we keep our capital structure very simple. We haven't done a lot of equity raises. We have a clean balance sheet, 20 million cash, just under 4 million in debt, and positive adjusted EBITDA 9 quarters in a row now at around 6% currently. So growing and profitable, and we really feel, Robert, we're just getting started.
Absolutely. So, my first question or first follow-up to that there, what would you say, what would you really say makes Kits unique and different than some of your competition out there? And what everybody knows is a very crowded space. There's similar style companies out there. I'd love to hear your thoughts there.
Sure. Yeah. No, we really strive to be the highest quality product for the lowest cost. And so the average price of a pair of prescription glasses in the US last year was about $350. And on kits.com in the US or kits.ca in Canada, you can buy prescription glasses, including prescription lens, for about $38. And we've done that really by taking the waste or the cost out of the system. And that's largely those cost buckets are largely in terms of a big retail network which customers have to pay for. On average, if you're a retail-based um, manufacturer in optical, it costs a customer, $150 to $200 extra just for having a store network to shop into in every town. And so we've really managed to forego that with the digital infrastructure, and then starting with the optical lab. Before we sold our first pair of prescription glasses, we put a couple million of our own capital into building a state-of-the-art optical lab, and we've expanded it significantly since then. We now have one of the most automated, highest velocity optical labs anywhere in North America, and doing that onshore we find is really important, close to customers, so that we can say when we sell a pair of prescription glasses, that we've made every single pair ourselves, and can make it the same day a customer orders, and ship it to their door within a day or two at an unbelievable value. And it's important to note in this category that consumer is getting younger. So the millennial consumer is now the biggest demographic in the US and in Canada. About 80 million millennials, if you can believe it, across North America. And the millennial cohort is now 28 to 43 years old. And that's just prime optical age. And that customer has told us very clearly, they don't want to get into an Uber or a car and go to a glasses store and spend $400 and wait a couple weeks, to have to get back into the car or Uber and go and pick it up. And so that customer has really high standards, but if you can meet them, this is a customer that we feel will really make up the optical category over the next 10 to 20 years.
Absolutely. So I'm going to just use one anecdotal experience. Like I remember, going to one of your competitors when I had to get glasses. And the thing was that it wasn't so much the price that I found nice there. It was that they then sized me up, and then that was my size. And then I could just continue to reorder whenever. You guys don't have any physical locations, correct me if I'm wrong. So how do you work with customers when they need, the proper sizing or whatever? Do you have a solution for that? Because that was a nice experience.
Yeah, you're right. That's that tends to be a friction point for customers, whether they're shopping in store or online, is, how do I find a size that's right for me? And so, what we found is, our virtual try on. We have about 1 million customers every quarter, and increasing. So it's probably more than that now, that go through our virtual try on program. And it's not an app. It's right on kits.com or kits.ca, and the customer can go and just virtually try on a bunch of frames. And we also have a perfect fit guarantee. So, we find that, we can measure a customer's, the dimensions, and the width that the customer needs, and then offer them a broader selection online. And as a result, we have, return rate even lower than the industry. And so we find, customers are looking for tools that offer them more convenience, like virtual try on, where they could do, from their phone or from their computer. And then, and those features also allow them to share with friends or family members and say, okay, I'm deciding between a couple, which one should I choose? And have an artifact right there where, they can share on social or text message. And so that's worked out really well for us.
I have your website also pulled up, and I was like, I like this face shape part. I'm looking, I'm like, what is my face shape? Is it a heart shaped or a triangle? Not really sure here. But Joseph, like I said, this is a quick hitter. So I got two more questions for you, and then I'll let you go. So real quick, for those that don't know, what was your background prior to being a co-founder of Kits?
Yeah, so two of us started Kits in the early days, and back in 2018. Roger and myself. My background was really with two bigger companies, Procter and Gamble, and then Amazon.com. And I had a great appreciation at both companies of the power of taking really great care of customers, which Procter and Gamble brands did consistently. And also the power of a better infrastructure, which we had at Amazon, and really making a deliberate, um, choice to go one or the other, not to try and do everything, and to go where the market is going. And so that was my background, and that was part of the reason why we started. And I really wanted to start Kits and start something in optical. You saw category after category really having its either digital or mobile or Amazon moment, and there's only a handful of categories that hadn't made that transition, and optical is one of them. We're pretty committed to changing that. And Roger's background is more in optical. And so he started a company, Coastal Contacts, which was NASDAQ listed and had a terrific run from 2000 to 2014, and ultimately sold for about 450 million in cash to another optical player in the category back in 2014. But he really felt like there was unfinished business, and so the two of us were fortunate enough to come together and start the company in 2018, and we hope we're doing this forever.
Here we are. Run it again. So, Joseph, to close us out here today, from what you can tell us, what would you say are some of the main value catalysts that folks should really pay attention to? We're recording this on February 24, 2025. So, from here on out, maybe for the rest of 2025, or even for the next, few months, whatever, what should folks really be paying attention to here?
I'll really speak for myself. I really look for long-term categories, and long-term people to work with on those long-term categories. I think optical really is one of those long-term categories. It's non-discretionary. People have got to see, once you need vision correction, you tend to need it for decades or a lifetime. And so if you take great care of customers in this category, they'll keep coming back again and again, and that's really our focus. And as a result, even as we've grown over 30% for 9 straight quarters, we still have over 60% of our revenue come from repeat customers. And so it's a very annuity based, almost software like in its annuity base. So it's non-discretionary, it's highly reoccurring, um, and our business is growing and profitable, and we're pretty committed to just continue to deliver for shareholders and for customers, consistently as we have over the last 9 quarters. And so we think we're a great secret in a great category.
Absolutely. Like I said, I'm going to have you back on for a longer form one because I'd love to talk more about this. So, with that, Joseph, where can our audience go and find more information on Kits Eyecare?
The best thing that we say to our potential partners and shareholders is, the best way to start is just become a customer. So kits.com in the US or kits.ca in Canada, and go and experience the product yourself. And of course, if you're in our area, we'd love to give you a tour of the facility and tour of our operation. We do have one store. You asked about stores. We have a flagship store in Vancouver where it all started on Kids Beach for us, and we'll have other flagship stores as we continue to expand in across North America. But really go and become a customer and talk to others about it, and if you're a happy customer, you probably and you see the results, going to be a happy shareholder as well.
Very cool. Well, Joseph, with that, thank you so much for joining me today. Really do appreciate it. Good luck, stay safe, and I will see you in Vegas.
See you, man.